So I've been playing the Modern Warfare 2 beta on PS5 this weekend. This is the first weekend of a 2-weekend beta. PS5, PS4 this weekend. Next weekend we get Xbox, PC, and PlayStation. I will have full impressions after playing both beta weekends, especially because I'm a PC player. I don't want to judge this beta based on playing on an inferior platform like PlayStation or Xbox with an inferior input like a controller when you know God intended us to play first-person shooters with a mouse and keyboard. So I'm all thumbs when it comes to controllers, and I would rather judge this beta on how it plays based on playing it on as many platforms as possible, but especially the one that I'm used to, that I play Warzone on, that I play Modern Warfare 2019, that I play Black Ops Cold War, and occasionally Vanguard if I have to. But I can say that there is something that I really dislike about this beta and that has me very, very concerned about what the heck's going on over at Infinity Ward. This is the fact that enemy nameplates are missing from the beta. You cannot see enemy nameplates above their heads. You can see your own team's blue nameplates, but you cannot see the enemies. Either this is a really, really massive bug, or it's a feature. Why would they take nameplates out of the game? I know some players have complained about being able to see nameplates in certain modes, where somebody's hiding and you can see the nameplates, so then you can shoot them. But we'll get to that in a second. You might say, well, if you can see your own team's nameplates, the blue nameplates, why do you need to see the enemy teams? If they don't have a nameplate over their head, they must be an enemy. But it's not always true, right? Sometimes when you're aiming down sights, you won't see your own team's nameplate above their head. Sometimes there are times when I mistake one of my own teammates for an enemy because I don't see the nameplate and I'm not sure. This will make it even more confusing. Anytime you see somebody without a nameplate, you'll think it's an enemy, but it could just be because you were sighting in or something like that. Also, will you even be able to see the enemy? In this beta, I've noticed that in dark hallways and in other hard to see areas, it's kind of hard to spot an enemy because there's no nameplate above their head. Normally, if somebody's, in a dark hallway or in front of some sort of busy, colorful area, you will spot that nameplate even if the skin sort of blends in. This helps you. This is not an old school game where it's pretty easy to see the bad guys. It's actually, these maps are quite elaborate. They're quite good looking, but there are a lot of areas where it's hard to see an enemy player. And here's the problem. This makes camping way, way easier and more efficient and deadly for campers, which is, I'm worried this game is going to turn into a camper's paradise and a nightmare for the rest of us. So this is a problem. If there are no enemy nameplates, not only just in regular play is it going to be harder to see people who aren't camping, just maybe running through a dark hallway, but if people do find good camping spots, it's going to be twice as hard as before to actually spot them. And this game is going to turn into a game that's heavily balanced towards camping. I personally think camping has its place. There are times when you want to camp, especially in a battle royale. And there are times if you're going to be, a sniper or something where camping, it's a valid strategy. You set up and then there's ways to counter it. One of those ways is nameplates, giving players a little bit more visibility to find campers, to find people that are perched up in a distant area. And now obviously you can't see nameplates at a certain distance. They're not going to appear across the map. But if you can't even see them when they're 5 feet in front of you, that's a problem. And this is probably my biggest concern right now with the beta. There's other things like a pretty fast time to kill, which combined with not being able to spot your enemy very quickly can mean that you're just dead before you can even get out of a fight. One thing I like about a well-balanced Call of Duty game is that if I get into a fight with someone and they get the jump on me, I can still get out of that predicament and a lot of times I'm going to die, but I can still counter them even if they get the jump on me. But if I can't even see them and then they take me down so fast that I'm not even able to disengage or maneuver and I'm just dead like that, that's a real problem. So right now, this lack of visibility, and I'm telling you, in a map like Farm 18, some of those in the center of the map, some of those corridors are quite dark. It's not like I have really dark TV settings. They're just kind of dark, and some of the skins really blend into the shadows. And in other areas, there's just some very colorful areas where certain skins kind of just are harder to spot. There was one point today where someone was shooting me over a wall, and I just could not see them to save my life. And it's not like I have the worst vision in the world. it was really hard to spot them. And I don't have this problem typically. Like, this is not a problem I have in most Call of Duty games. I mean, sometimes someone's going to be hard to spot, or they're just going to see you before you see them. But I just felt like I was running blind half the time today, and I think that was a problem. Or I should say Friday, not today. But because I think it's almost Saturday. Anyways, hopefully Infinity Ward changes this and brings back one of the basic functions that we've grown accustomed to in these games. And, you know, I will save my other criticisms for another video, but that's where I'm at right now with the beta. It's been kind of frustrating, honestly. But more on that later. I don't want to jump the gun on some of these criticisms. So let me know what you think about this issue, specifically about the beta so far. Hopefully you were able to get one of the keys I gave out earlier today and earlier this week, and I will have more free beta keys for weekend number 2 next week, so stay tuned for that. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Peace.